Hi, and thanks for joining me. Today I'd like to do a vlog and talk about my Japanese Xbox collection. This is a collection that I'm very fond of. It's not my largest collection, and it is not my most well-curated collection, but it's something I'm interested in, and something I may like to expand a little bit in the future if I ever get to a point where I'm actively collecting any appreciable number of retro games again. But what I'd like to do is just go over each of the games individually. Some of them I actually don't know a lot of useful information about, but I'd like to just tell you why I got them, and just in general what the premise of the games are, and I hope that that will be enjoyable for both you and myself. To start off here we have Bistro Cupid. Now, I've actually made a video about this in the past, so if you want a little bit more information about that, I would recommend that you check out that video. Suffice to say, it is it's kind of a hybrid of several different gameplay styles, but I would say the bulk of which is that it's kind of a romantic adventure game with a restaurant simulation element to it. Which I actually found to be much more interesting than I was expecting. I thought that this game would probably be I thought it was some kind of restaurant simulator, but it's really cool the way that it works. You have kind of a crafting system where you make recipes which act as spells in a RPG style battle system that you also participate in, where you go out into the field and you collect ingredients for your cooking. It's very interesting. If you guys want to know more about this, I would recommend checking that video out. But suffice to say, this is a Japanese Xbox exclusive, I believe. It's possible it came out on PCs, but it was not released on any other consoles. The second game, there is a sequel, is also available on the PlayStation 2 and some other consoles, I believe, as well. Next up, we have Galaxy Angel. Now, you guys know I like Galaxy Angel. It is an anime series, and it's just a kind of a comedy set in outer space with a bunch of goofy characters, and it's a lot of fun. They have really kind of short episodes. I think the episodes are like 10 or 15 minutes each, so like maybe a full episode is sort of split into two stories, basically. There's actually a fairly long-running game series associated with Galaxy Angel. I believe that this version of this first game is available on both the Xbox and the PlayStation 2. So I really just got this for my Xbox because I have an Xbox, a Japanese Xbox. I could have gotten it for my Japanese PlayStation 2 as well. This is an adventure game, but it also has real-time strategy elements from what I read. I can see right on the back of the box. It says real-time simulation. And when they say simulation and they call it an SLG, I think it stands for simulation game, what they're really talking about in Japanese is a tactical strategy game. So this is a real-time strategy game with adventure game elements. I have not played this. I'd like to play it and give you my impressions of it at some point, if I ever get around to doing that kind of thing. Next is C.A.T. This is Cyber Attack Team. And this is, as far as I know, at least a Xbox console exclusive. Again, I'd encourage you guys to do your own research on these, but I believe that is the case. And I have played this some. I've been meaning to make a video on this. I intended to in the past. But essentially, if what I remember is correct, you are playing a student at a school, and there's some sort of after-school club that's the Cyber Attack Team Club or something like that. Basically, you're performing what amounts to like network security, I think, or like combating viruses in some sort of virtual reality space. And so what that ends up being is again, simulation, but in this case, I believe they're talking about tactical strategy RPG, sort of turn-based tactical strategy gameplay when you're diving into the VR and actually performing combat, and the rest of the game is played as an adventure game. I don't know if it's a romantic adventure game, or if it's kind of just more of a standard, maybe a comedy story, something along those lines. But it seemed pretty cool. I seem to remember thinking that this wasn't quite as engaging and good as I was hoping it was going to be. I'm like, something like Bistro Cupid that really exceeded my expectations. This was kind of like, okay, I need to play it a little bit more, really see what I think. But it seemed pretty cool. Next up is Tenerezza. And just in case you think I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, there are two confirmations here for how you would pronounce that. One just being the fact that there are two Z's here that you would pronounce the way that you would pronounce pizza, so that is Tenerezza. But there's also a phonetic pronunciation here. It is Te-ne-de-tsua. So, Tenerezza. This is an action RPG by Aquaplus, and I like Aquaplus's stuff in general. They certainly got my attention with things like White Album, the Aquapazza fighting game, which uses a lot of characters from their other sort of romantic adventure games and such. I think it's a really fun fighting game and has fun characters in it, and this looks like a fun game as well. This is actually an action RPG. Now, I haven't played this, so I really don't have any opinions of it on my own. I have checked out some other people's thoughts on this game, and they seem to, the consensus, or at least, I don't know, one person, maybe it's not a consensus, but there's someone out there who thinks this game is like not as good as it could be, but that it's decent. You know what I'm saying? Kind of one of those middle of the road games that's like probably worth playing, but you don't want to have super high expectations for. So that's how I'm going into this game when I play it at some point. Next up we have Yuki Kaze. There's a whole big thing here, and then there's a subtitle, and I didn't bother to look up what these were, and I'm not going to try to read them. But this is based on an anime. The anime is called Yuki Kaze. It's called something Yuki Kaze. I forget what it is, but it's essentially about a fighter jet that is AI controlled. It's kind of sentient, I think, and it has some sort of really advanced AI in it. And I think of it like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Stealth. I think of the movie Stealth as being sort of based on Yuki Kaze. I have seen the anime for this, and I did enjoy it quite a bit. I'm a little foggy on the details of it, because I saw it a while ago, but I remember liking it. And honestly, I wasn't planning to pick this game up. It was on my list because it's an anime-based game for the original Xbox, and I thought that that was fun. Sort of like Galaxy Angel, I think I just wanted to have this at one point. But if I remember correctly, I was looking up Japanese reviews, and they were kind of like, they were sort of so-so. I think I even maybe remember seeing this in Japan at game stores when I was visiting at one point. And I just, I think flight sims, or even sort of more arcadey, like action flying games, can be a little bit hit or miss. So I think this may be a touch more miss than it is hit. It sounds like it uses the models from the OVA that they actually used, or it's at least based on the models that they used for the actual CG in the anime, which is pretty cool. And it says there are 3 game modes. I don't know exactly what they are, but there's some sort of mission mode, and some sort of extra mode. Oh, there's a versus mode. So there's a little bit of information from the back of the box for you. Next up we have Braveknight. And for whatever reason, when I was first looking up games on the Xbox, this one really caught my eye. I think it was probably because I was, at the time, looking for like romantic adventure style games to play, because I, had probably played one or two that I enjoyed. And, again, this seems like a Xbox exclusive. I believe it may have come out on PC, but it had not come out on any other consoles. And it's, as far as I know, a simulation game. So I believe it plays almost something like a racing sim, but where you're a knight. I think you might actually even, in some ways, be like a king of a kingdom. I was checking out the story for this, and it's something along the lines of, times were peaceful, but then like demons attack, and so they need these heroes to fight the demons, and so it seems like some of the heroes, are successful at fighting the demons, and they establish their own kingdoms. So you're actually sort of starting as a hero or a king or something of your own kingdom that you've established for a relatively short period of time, but maybe 5 years, something like that. And so you're able to kind of raise different parameters, and maybe I guess you're looking for a queen, so you can date these various characters in this kind of a medieval setting. And it just seems kind of fun. I haven't really checked it out much. I would like to. I'll do that at some point. I did pick up a little extra with this. I got this a few years after I actually got the game. This is a Fun Fan DVD, Volume 1. And I guess I don't know for sure what's on here, because I haven't checked it out. Being a DVD, I kind of think it's animation. But come to find out, there is actually another volume of this, because this is Volume 1. There actually is a Volume 2 of the Fun Fan DVD, and I don't have that. So I'd like to pick up the second volume at some point. It seems like it's not expensive to get, because nobody really wants it, is what I assume. And the last game, like I said, this is not a very big collection, is Aoi Namida, or Blue Tears. Now this is also by Panther Software. I forgot to mention Braveknight is also published by Panther Software. They're a Japanese publisher. This was released on PC, and it was ported to the Xbox. As far as I've read, it's actually the only sort of pure, straight adventure game that is like an N.U.D.E that was ported to the Xbox. All of the other games that were ported to the Xbox like this have some sort of other element to them, like, the restaurant simulator, or the, like, a real-time strategy aspect, or something along those lines, a tactical strategy game portion. This is pure adventure game. And as far as I read, it's developed by a Korean developer, which I find interesting. But of course, being a console release, any adult content has been taken out of this. Interestingly, though, this is Sero 18, so it is rated for 18 and over. So even with most of the content cut, I guess still just the subject matter makes this an 18 or over game. This is I don't even think it's really a special edition. It's like a first print or something along those lines. So it includes a original soundtrack CD, which I think is very cool. I don't know if they made any other prints of this. I don't know if you can actually get this without the CD. And this game it's a little pricey. I don't know that it's tremendously rare, but the Xbox was not a popular system in Japan, so I would say probably a lot of these games didn't have particularly large print runs anyway, and you're not really going to see this game pop up on US eBay much, if at all, but it does seem like it is available on things like Japanese Amazon, and it's not especially expensive. I think when I got this, I probably spent $70 on it, which is probably around the new price, and it looks like you can get it for around that price, possibly less, maybe even as little as maybe $50 without shipping. and I've seen it. I think there might be a copy on eBay, on US eBay right now, that is being asked $200 for, which seems a little steep, but you know, with games like this, especially if there's not a really kind of consistent, established price for it in foreign markets, you know, I would say the average asking price for this is around $100 if you look on Amazon.co.jp and that kind of thing. But anyway, I don't know. I'm only mentioning that because I have a feeling this may be one of the more collectible games for this system. It doesn't seem to be ultra collectible, but perhaps it will be more so in the future. It's hard to say. So that is my Japanese Xbox collection. There are a few other games that I would like to get, one of which being Metal Wolf Chaos, which unfortunately, I believe it's called Metal Wolf Chaos, is also a sought-after game that is kind of expensive. And the thing with it is that even when I was getting these games, that game was kind of pricey. And I think that it has become a little bit on the radar of collectors, like Western collectors, just because it's, I believe it's developed by From Software. I could be wrong. But it also just has a completely ridiculous plot where, like, you play the President of the United States in, like, a giant mech with, like, I don't know, the Vice President of the United States and also in a giant mech, or it's something along those lines. It seems completely ridiculous and kind of a lot of fun, which is why I would like it. But, you know, I think I will probably have to spend a reasonable amount of money in order to get that game if I really do want it. And, you know, it's nice to try to collect these when they're affordable. I you know, missed out on that, so we'll have to see if I end up picking that up at some point in the future. I think I probably would someday when it makes sense. You know, there are a handful of other games on the system that some of which have been released also on PlayStation 2, so I don't know exactly how I want to continue my collection for the Xbox. It's a bit of a moot point right now, but I think I would like to get some of the games that are also console exclusives that seem like they're at least somewhat interesting in terms of being within game genres that I enjoy, either being kind of anime styled or you know, adventure games, or like maybe an action RPG like Tenerezza, that kind of thing. So perhaps I'll put a list up here of some of the other games that I think look interesting on the Xbox. And, you know, I'd love to know if you guys have played any Japanese Xbox games. I have a feeling that's pretty niche. But yeah, you know, the Xbox was such an oddity because it was such a Western system, and Microsoft really was making a push, though, to establish themselves in the Japanese market at the time. So, you know, there are a handful of interesting Japanese exclusives for that system. You might not think so, but they're out there. So, anyway, I hope that this was enjoyable, and I hope that you'll join me again for more video game and anime-related videos. Also, I would encourage you guys, if you like this video, to please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.